Hello and welcome to our live broadcast on Video Toolkit Essentials for Streaming School Events. I'm Rob Reed, we're here in our Los Angeles studios, and I will be your host today. A little bit later on in our broadcast, I'm going to be joined by Jon Landman of Teradek to talk about some encoding products, as well as Andrew Rodriguez from TheCube. So a little bit about what's happening today. We want to give you some tips and tricks on the toolkit essentials that you need for producing and streaming your school events. We're actually streaming using TheCube's content delivery network, their streaming service. So actually below that window you see on the broadcast, there is a comments field. I encourage you to log in using your Facebook profile or your Twitter account, or if you actually have a Cube account, you can log in. Feel free to post your questions, and we'll try and get to those at the very end of the broadcast. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what are some of the things you can do for streaming school events or producing school events. So let's give you some examples. Some examples might be morning announcements. Those are the announcements in the morning of producing like a broadcast type show of what's happening in the school. Great way of connecting the school kid community. The next thing might be sports. So you might be streaming your football, your basketball, your soccer games, that type of thing. So a great way of connecting your community and your boosters to your school. Another example might be musical performances, or another one might be distance learning. So a lot of schools are looking into options of ways of bringing out video content or school content so they can actually get more students to learn online. There's another trend going out there in the marketplace, and that's called flipped learning. And that's essentially where kids go home from school and they actually go and watch the lesson online, and then they come back to the school and actually do the homework in the classroom with the teacher. So that's another great trend in the schools. Another one might be graduation or commencement. So grandma or aunt or uncle are away, are not able to attend, so you can actually watch those broadcasts live online. A great way of connecting family and friends for graduation. The last one might be plays or productions. Keep in mind that some plays or productions or musical performances, they do have licenses, and so you need to make sure you have the appropriate license to stream or broadcast those type events. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Video Toolkit Essentials for what you need for streaming school events. So some of you might be streaming already. You might be using maybe one camera. Well, we recommend 2 cameras. So 2 cameras gives you a different point of view. And so getting 2 cameras is a great way of making your content more favorable, or it's easier to watch. So maybe another item that you might consider is getting a computer so you can do graphics or scoreboards. The last video input that I highly recommend is getting some sort of tablet. For myself, I use an iPad. I love loading video content in there for breaks in sports broadcasting, or be able to roll sponsor videos, that type of thing. So it's a great way of using it as a video playback device. So you've got 4 different devices. Now you need to mix all that content, and so we recommend a video switcher. So the video switcher is kind of the core key component of switching even audio sources in there as well. But with the V-1HD, as we're showing here, it's got an audio in. So maybe we might take audio inputs from microphones, let's say wireless microphones, wired microphones, shotgun microphones. If you're in a room, in an auditorium, maybe you want to get audience sound or noise on the actual broadcast. Great way of getting it on there as well. So you need to go to an audio mixer. So next really is the key component of taking that audio and video content and then encoding it, or taking it to a different format so that you can then stream it out to your content delivery network. And as I mentioned, Jon Landman from Teradek will be coming and talking about encoding. And lastly is your streaming service, like TheCube, like we're using today. So those are some of the key essential video toolkits that you need for producing and streaming school events. So the one thing that I'm going to talk about today, actually a couple of our video switchers, we're going to talk about the V-1HD. The V-1HD is our brand new 4-channel HDMI switcher, perfect for schools. I don't have a camera on the back of this, so I'm going to use my keynote presentation here and show you some of the video inputs on the back. So as you can see, you can plug in the HD cameras or action cameras like GoPro type cameras. You can plug in your PCs, your smartphone, your tablets. even Blu-ray players. So those are some of the inputs that you can use in the HDMI format. We do support 3 different HD resolutions, 1080p, 1080i, and 720p. And all of those resolutions are selectable on the back panel of the V1HD. Now let's talk about the AV connections on the output. So we have our main output, and then we also have a preview output. And this is the special output on the V1HD because not only can you use it as your quad view, but you can also use it as your full frame preview, or it's a duplication of your program out. Perfect for doing streaming or recording of your events. So now you have 2 master outputs if you like. So now let's talk a little bit about the audio. So it's got analog audio ins as well as analog audio out. So that stereo RCA audio line in, that's where you're going to bring in audio from your audio mixer. And then the audio out can then be sent to the PA system within your facility. Let's talk about audio in. Let's say I'm doing a broadcast and I only need 1 microphone. It's got a little 1/8 inch powered plug-in for microphones such as the Audio-Technica AT9920 or the AT9900 or even the Sony ECM C155. So great way of getting just a simple audio in on there. We also have a headphone out jack as well, so you can monitor your audio before that goes to the broadcast. So there's the audio ins and the audio outs. Really, now let's go show you actually how this product works. I actually have one here on my desk. So here's the top interface. As you can see, I have an A bus and a B bus, and I have my T-bar here. I'm able to just do a nice mix, cross dissolve between my 2 video sources. Or I can use the transform button, which is kind of my take button, and that does a nice cross dissolve between the 2 video sources. I can also go in there and do different white patterns. Some people like white patterns. I'm not a big, huge white pattern fan, but we've got lots of white patterns to choose from in there. Some of the other things you can do, for example, I'm going to go to my memory preset 3, and you can store all of your memories. You can actually store up to 8 different memory presets, so you can select whether you're going to do like picture-in-picture, or you're going to do your various different white patterns or mixed type effects. So what I'm going to show is I'm going to actually take it to a couple of other video source feeds. I'm going to go to my mix. And so now I'm actually mixing between these 2 video sources here. We have the capability to do what we call a split screen. So all I have to do is tap my Effects A button, and now I have a split screen, and I can use this dial here to actually adjust the framing of my cameras. So you're not having to tell the person that's operating the camera, could you move that to the little left or the little right? You can just use this value dial knob on both the A bus and the B bus to actually center those frames. So really, really nice, easy feature. As you can see, it's very, very simple to use. So next I'm going to talk about keying. So I'm going to go back to some of my sports footage here. And I'm going to go to memory preset 1. I'm going to go back to here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the video source from my iPad, and I'm going to unplug that and go into my, my computer source. My computer source, this is how you can do titling. And what I did was I actually created some video content, some titles, some lower thirds, using Keynote presentation. So some of you are familiar with Keynote for Mac. But you can also use PowerPoint for Windows and PowerPoint for Mac as well. What I did was I created a full background screen, and that full background screen is on a green background. I'm just going to go back to my video source and see if it shows up here. So you can see I actually have a green background on there. So I'm going to switch back to another piece of video. I'm going to go down here. And then I'm going to use my Effects A button, and I'm going to turn that on. So all I have to do now is mix in that video source, and now I've done a lower third. And I'm going to adjust the dial on here, and it's going to take some of the green out. So you can see that background is being green. So simply to take that title off, I just mix it back. And then I can switch to another example of like using a scoreboard. So I created a scoreboard on a green background. There's lots of scoreboard applications out there. And notice now I'm able to show the scoreboard over my live video feed of the football game. Or for example, another thing would be to bring in a logo or something like that. So I brought in the logo the Roland logo. You can use your school bug or school mascot, that type of thing, so you can show it. That's your broadcast. So anyway, that's really how easy it is to use the V1HD. I'm going to show you a really, really cool way of controlling the V1HD, not only from the front panel, but we have a free iPad app. And the free iPad app, you can download it. I just simply have it connected through a USB cable directly into the back of the V1HD. So I'm going to go into my iPad app, and I have full control over my video sources switching. So I can switch between my video buses. I'm going to go back to memory preset 1 because I know that that's going to give me my nice cross dissolves between the two and turn off my effects. And I can do that, or I can do white patterns, or I can do, again, as I mentioned, just do a transform. So that just is a take button between the two. I also have the ability to control my audio effects as well. So I'm going to switch over to the next window, which shows all my audio sources. As I mentioned, we have a 10-channel audio mixer taking an RCA out going into the back of the V1HD. Well, I happen to have a broadcast headset over here, and if I talk into the broadcast headset, you will notice you can see the audio meters coming up. So now I can go into the audio meters here, and I can select EQ, that type of thing. I can select compressors, reverb, that type of thing, all the way from the iPad app. So it's a great way of controlling the V1HD from another device. We also have, as I mentioned, a free Mac software that's downloadable and a free PC software that's downloadable as well. So as you can see, there's lots and lots of power built into the V1HD. I'm just going to bring up my keynote presentation, and I'm going to switch back to my video source. So I'm going to do a quick switch here, and this is going to go back into my V1H or to my iPad, and then I'm going to bring up the full resolution on my computer again. So the next devices I was talking about, so with this particular scenario, you have an audio mixer and a video mixer. We actually have another product. It's our all-in-one product called the VR-50HD. And the VR-50HD, again, is an audio mixer, a video mixer, and it also supports multiple formats. So I can bring in standard definition resolutions, I can bring in HD, multiple formats, I can even bring in computer resolutions, analog computer. It mixes and matches those formats so you don't have to worry about keeping in one format. And then it outputs it as one resolution through the HDMI, SDI, or even the USB output. It's got a built-in preview monitor with touch select, so it's kind of like having the iPad interface with the menu options to be able to control that unit. And then the USB output for web streaming or recording. Let's take a look at the back panel. As I mentioned, there's multiple video inputs. So there's 4 SDI, 4 HDMI, 2 composite, and 2 RGB component. So again, mixing and matching video resolutions is really the key of this particular product. So if you're a school that has old analog HD video sources, that type of thing, this is really, really a key product for that. As I mentioned, it also has a built-in audio mixer. So the audio inputs on the back are 1/4 inch or TRS inputs for the microphone. It also has TRS inputs for external audio sources, as well as RCA audio inputs too. Let's take a look at the outputs. As the outputs, we have 3 HDMI outs, and we have one of them is a multi-view, and then there's a program and an aux out, and then there's 2 SDI outs and 2 RGB/component outs. And lastly, as we mentioned, it has USB 3.0 and USB 2.0. So that's great, again, for recording or going to a content delivery network that might already have a software encoder built into it. So we've talked about a couple of different products. Again, the V1HD is a great entry-level 4-channel video mixer switcher. That one starts at $995, all the way up to our multi-format all-in-one video switcher. That is $74.95. So again, those are some great tools for mixing your audio sources, mixing your video sources, but there's a couple of different missing components that we need, and that's why I'm going to bring in Jon Landman here in a second to talk about encoding, and then Andrew to talk about your streaming service. So we're going to take a really quick break. I'm going to show a video from Chatswood High School and how they use our products and have fun. So it's about a 2-minute video, and we'll come back and then we'll have Jon here. So we'll be right back. Enjoy. All right, welcome back. That was a lot of fun. That private school has a lot of fun producing videos using some of the Roland video switchers. All right, I have with me Jon Landman from Teradek. Jon, welcome.
Thank you.
And tell us a little bit about yourself and the company and what you guys offer for school.
Sure. Well, Teradek is a company that's been around for about 5 years. We manufacture hardware encoders, which is the reason I'm here today.
Yes.
Right? These encoders are used in various different industries, all the way from professional broadcast industries down to schools, education, corporate events, house of worship, you name it. We pretty much exist all over the place. In fact, over the 5 years that I've been working there, we've delivered over 45,000 encoders.
Wow.
That's a lot of
incredible.
encoders.
A lot of people out there streaming stuff.
A lot of people. And it gives us a huge amount of information that we need in order to produce a product that really kind of fits the right market.
So tell the teachers a little bit about what an encoder does and how it might work with one of our video switchers. Sure.
Well, your video switchers, the one that we've got over here, outputs an HDMI feed. That's quite a typical feed that we get nowadays. The cameras today output HDMI, computers output HDMI. This switcher outputs HDMI, which again is a video signal. So what is an encoder? The HDMI signal is fed into our unit here via the HDMI connection, and we use a compression algorithm called H.264 to encode that feed and then push it over an Ethernet connection or a wireless connection to the internet using an RTMP protocol that is the protocol that the company that we're working with here today, TheCube, accepts.
Right.
Okay?
Perfect.
So again, HDMI in, H.264 encoding, outputs over Wi-Fi or Ethernet.
Awesome. That sounds like
Pretty
a very simple solution.
Really simple, very lightweight, can put it in your pocket, no longer have to run around with a computer and an encoding card and look for 110 power. I mean, this has a 3-hour battery inside.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's become a very popular unit. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, tell us, I understand that you've had customers that have used this product, and then there's some other things that kind of help them stream as well.
Yes, so I was talking to earlier about this, a customer that called me, actually a high school that called me a couple of weeks ago, and they wanted to stream the commencement event from down on the soccer field, okay? And the way this teacher was connecting to the internet was by using a Verizon 4G hotspot. That's used quite a lot because obviously out in the field, you don't have an Ethernet connection, you don't have a wireless connection, so really your choices are limited.
Yeah.
And often Verizon is good enough.
Sure.
Okay, that was the setup. They were using one of your switches. Thursday, everything's set up. Sunday, they go out to do the event. Monday morning, 9 o'clock, I get a call from a very upset teacher.
Uh-oh.
Yes. The stream didn't look good. The quality was no good. We were the parents were complaining, and the grandparents were even more furious because they're the ones at home that really, want to see their kids and sometimes can't get out to the events. So I asked this teacher to take a laptop down, Wi-Fi connect her 4G hotspot to her laptop and perform a speed test. She did that, and she told me she got 256 kilobits per second. That is not enough to support a good quality stream.
It might be a postage stamp size.
It most definitely will be. And, on a side note, in order to get a good quality stream today, you need to be encoding at between 1 to 2 megabits per second. People are always talking about, high def.
Right.
So what is it, how much bit rate do you need to get a high def channel?
Sure.
In my experience, we can do a very nice high def stream at about 2 megabits per second. So what's my solution for someone in that predicament? You're out in the field, you don't have an Ethernet connection, you don't have a 4G connection, or at least one that can give you high bandwidth. So what did we offer her? Okay, so we came out with a product called the VidiU Pro. VidiU Pro, slightly larger than the VidiU because it has a bigger battery.
Right.
It also has a full-size SD slot, so it can record everything on it.
Oh, that's great.
That is a really useful and very popular thing to do. But it, most importantly, has this app inside that we call Sharelink. Okay, what is Sharelink? Well, as I mentioned before, the VidiU creates a Wi-Fi network. Okay. So we also have a control software that you download on your iPhone called the VidiU app. You can download that on any iPhone. And the workflow is this. The iPhone joins the Wi-Fi network of the VidiU. Now, 4 phones can join the network of the VidiU Pro.
Cool.
So now we have 4 phones, all with the VidiU Pro app open. Within that app, there is an option called Enable Sharelink. Once that Sharelink is enabled, the VidiU has the intelligence to bond all of those phones together, in essence aggregating the bandwidth of all of those phones.
Nice.
So if we take out, if we go back to that scenario that we had originally of 256K, 4 times 256 is 1 meg. That's going to be a great stream.
Right.
So that's what the VidiU Pro has to offer.
Cool.
And is really groundbreaking in that technology.
Yeah, that's fabulous. As a matter of fact, a lot of times school gets in a situation where even the regular Wi-Fi within the school building is not strong enough to stream. So this is a great way of using the bonded cellular service of just your own cell phones, your own iPhone,
right,
to then aggregate those
yes,
the bandwidth together to really get enough to stream.
Well, we can also bond Wi-Fi with Ethernet,
wow,
with cellular. So now you have options. You have backup plans.
Yeah, it's backup plans.
Right? You have backup plans.
You can never have enough redundancy,
Absolutely,
that's for sure. Especially
absolutely.
if you're doing mission critical type streaming of commencements or sporting
right,
events.
there's
that type of
nothing
thing.
worse than irate grandparents. We all know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that's a great feature. Well, really, I mean, using either one of these products with any of our switchers seem really, really simple. Just an HDMI out. This sends an audio and video signal that the Teradek then encodes and sends as an RTMP stream directly to TheCube and other content delivery networks.
Well.
Yeah.
I've taught you well.
You've taught me well, yeah. As a matter of fact, really, it's a simple recipe here. And that's one of the things we wanted to share with you. What does it look like? There's the V-1HD, again, going into the VidiU Pro using Sharelink, and then directly to TheCube. That's a simple streaming recipe right there. And so, anyway, I wanted to thank you very much for coming out here. I think it's a fabulous product. I've used the VidiU Pro before. I haven't used Sharelink, but the VidiU Pro is great because I actually took a 2 terabyte hard drive and I plugged that in, and it actually recorded the RTMP stream of what I was sending out to the cloud as well, to TheCube actually, as a backup. So you have that right there and ready. And John, I understand that you have worked with schools, and we have a little video to show how schools are using your particular product. So in a short while here, I think what we'll do is we'll take a break and we'll show that video. And then after that video, we'll bring Andrew in from TheCube, and we'll start talking about the streaming service. So thank you. We'll see you shortly at the very end of the presentation so we can answer some of your questions.
Thank you.
All right, let's roll a video. We'll see you soon.
Right now we're at our Friday night football game. You can see the trailer behind us. We've got students in there doing all the production, switching, audio, graphics, and then we've got cameras spread out all over the field. We're doing, I think, about 9, 10 cameras right now, so it's been a really cool setup. In the past, we've had a laptop, digital output HDMI through a converter, encoded it in the laptop, streamed it out over a Verizon hotspot. With the VidiU Pro, basically we've put in our event, we've hit go, off it goes. So there's no computer to boot up, there's no actually even footprint in our production trailer. We've gone from a 15-inch laptop to this tiny little box. With the Sharelink ability, you have multiple connections. So if one connection's having issues, it hops over to another one. We've checked our stream quality tonight compared to what we've done in the past. Much better. Really nice, sharp HD. We've had no drop issues that we are aware of. We live stream all of our stuff for several reasons. It brings our community together as a whole, as well as it generates interest in the game. Ultimately for us, it doesn't matter how good this is out here, it all comes down to our output. So with the VidiU Pro and Sharelink, it gives us that knowledge we're good, we're pushing out the best stream we can, and it's going to be fast and reliable for all of our viewers.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for continuing to watch this broadcast with us. I have Andrew here from TheCube. Andrew, thank you very much for coming. We want to learn more about how schools use TheCube to actually stream content to their audience. So tell us a little bit about yourself and the product offerings.
Well, thank you for having me, Rob. It's a pleasure to be here today. For those of you tuning in, my name is Andrew Rodriguez, and I work for a company called TheCube. We are a live streaming platform, or a CDN, as you had mentioned before. We specialize in schools, and we have our niche audience, and we cater to them by offering a free multi-platform service.
Oh, excellent.
What that means is users have the ability to watch live events from our platform through computers, tablets, smartphones, even smart TVs. So what we offer is this multi-platform use for schools. Now, to get started with actually broadcasting, that is also a free feature. So we are free to watch events, and we're free to use for broadcasting. So anybody who creates an account on our site, our platform, can stream events. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be school related. However, for those schools who are interested in using our platform, would need to go through some certain steps to become verified broadcasters, as we refer to them as.
Sure. No, that makes sense. You don't want, some student or whatever broadcasting something unauthorized on using the school Cube account.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, it
totally
could,
makes sense to have
it could
verified broadcasters.
be found by a principal or an athletic director, someone from the school, and we may get a call from somebody.
Right.
But
no, it makes sense.
so what we've done with our platform is we've created hyper local channels called cubes, hence the name, dedicated to the schools. We originally started with high schools. We opened our platform last year, the beginning of last year, to other school levels, middle schools, elementary schools, even colleges, universities, and also amateur sports. So club sports, travel teams, that sort of thing.
Right.
So with that, up to now, we have produced over 150,000 events on our platform, and we have over 10,000 schools worldwide using our service. So we've been around for a few years, but within that stretch, we've really grown as a platform. So to kind of jump into things, the first thing schools that are interested in using our platform have to create an account, which is free, and they need to submit what's called a verification form. So now, the role of someone from a school can vary. So you have the actual people employed by the school, athletic directors, media directors, teachers, principals, the list goes on. Those are kind of the easy check-offs. Then you also have the people who are affiliated with the school. So say you have people who already do radio broadcasts, maybe a local television station.
Or like a boosters club or something like that.
Exactly.
That's associated with the school, but not, they're trying to raise funds, specific programs, but they're
and then
not really employees of the school.
Exactly. And then you also have volunteers, parents, fans. So that kind of gives you a list or a spectrum of who is inquiring about live streaming. So they would create their account. They submit a verification form to us. We approve them. They become verified broadcasters. And they become verified broadcasters for their school cube. So as I mentioned, we've created hyper-local channels. So you think of it like Facebook, where you have your own Facebook account, but then you create Facebook pages for people to go and get the hits and the views and the likes, all that type of stuff. So that's what we've kind of based it off of. So what we want to do now is, after you've been approved as a broadcaster, we want to start scheduling events. So I'm going to go here to our website. And you'll see I'm already logged into my account. And I'm going to go to the My Cube tab.
Okay.
And I'm going to go down to Schedule Stream.
Okay.
So here we have our schedule event page. Pretty straightforward, kind of title of your event. It works top to bottom. Title of your event, date, time, duration. Maybe you want to put in a description. And then I want to touch on real quickly here our advanced streaming options. So you'll see here our drop-down list. We have various ways to alter an event that you are live streaming. And if you look at the very top one, recurring events. So one of the common broadcasts that schools like to use is morning announcements or news announcements. So the great thing about this feature is by selecting it and applying it to your broadcast, you have the ability to use that over and over again. So instead of going into the site, scheduling an event every morning or afternoon, depending on how many segments you do a day, you would just use the same stream or same event code, all the particulars that go into it. You can use that over and over again.
That's a great idea. So you don't have to keep putting in a different stream code every day, even though that event recurs every day. You can just continue to use that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and our users really, really love that feature. So I'm going to actually touch on our privacy settings just for a moment here. So you'll notice we have quite a few. So based on user feedback, we realized that we do stream a lot of athletic events. And with that, we get responses back from athletic directors, coaches, even school administrators that are saying, we would like it if our event wasn't public, or is there a way to hide the event? So we've created these settings here. So we'll go down the list here. So we have private, show live video, hide the replay, password protect. So with all three, there's something different, but all of them are a privacy setting.
Right.
With the private event, you're actually hiding it from the site. So when you go to either the website or the mobile app, you're not going to see that. The only way to access that event would be receiving the direct link from the verified broadcaster that scheduled it. Next, we have the show live video, hide replay. Now, this is perfect for coaches who want to avoid the scouting from other schools, but they still want to showcase their events to their audience.
Sure.
So they're going to choose this option, show the live video, maybe after the game's over or the next day, it's hidden. And a user or the person in charge of that broadcast can unhide it at any time. Last one's pretty straightforward. You create a password, you give that password to your viewers, they type it in, and they can watch the event.
Perfect.
So we've gone through that. Now I'm going to minimize that. And now the next step is to tag or add schools to the broadcast. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put in some generic schools that we've created.
Yep.
So we have our Cube High School. So as you start typing in the name of your school, what should happen is you should see a drop-down list of schools available. And for the most part, most schools throughout the country, we have created a channel or a cube for. So you should be able to find it. So go ahead here, choose that. Next thing you want to do is you want to categorize the event for the school.
Sure.
So we'll stick with athletics here. Choose it. And I'm going to choose football.
Yep.
Next thing, we want to choose the opposing school. And this is also a really cool feature, is that by adding the other school who may or may not be active on the site, if there is someone looking to watch events from that school, they'll still be notified.
So for example, the school might not be streaming, but someone has a Cube account and they're actually following that rivalry school or the school that's going to be there, they'll get a notification saying they can watch the broadcast of that school.
Exactly.
Cool.
So
that's a great feature.
And that leads to more views for the people who are
Absolutely.
streaming. So I'll go ahead and put in Cube Prep. We'll do the same here. Make it athletics. Oh, not golf.
Football. Yep.
There we go.
Cool.
And we will save and continue. Oh, did not put. So we'll put test.
And you can put on there the time, the date, and how long that broadcast is as well.
So we're going to bypass this.
Continue the standard, yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to add a scoreboard to the event.
Cool.
So one of the cool things about our platform, and kind of tying in with Jon in the Teradek device, using it to stream, is you have the ability to add in a scoreboard overlay. So this is kind of the process to do that. So whether you have a V-1HD or a Teradek device, if you're using the Roland V-1HD with an encoding software, or you're going straight from the Teradek encoder, you can apply the scoreboard, and what happens is it will show up on the event page. So you could have somebody controlling the scoreboard from the computer and The mobile
Even the app, yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, this is one of my favorite features of TheCube for high schools specifically, and how I've used it before with some schools is basically what you do is you add authorized broadcasters or people that are associated with the broadcast. So for example, students that have a Cube account, you can add them into them, and then when they open up the app, they can bring in the scoreboard, and they can be sitting in the student section running the scoreboard and the time clock and still be a part of the broadcast. So it's kind of a cool way of connecting your broadcast team together.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to show what that looks like in just a second
Excellent.
here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a football scoreboard. So, for some reason it is not showing me the school names, but what should happen, so you'll see here we have home name,
Yep.
away name, select a team. So when you add in your school cubes, you should be able to choose the school name, choose home and away, and then you can actually give it an abbreviated logo. So what will happen is when you choose the school name, it'll create its own default. Obviously, you can change that. So right now we'll do something here. So we had Q High School, so CHS
Yep.
and Q Prep, so we'll do CP. So we'll do continue and get code.
Right.
And this is what you should see when you successfully schedule an event.
Cool. So there's the URL. I see you have the social sharing buttons there as well.
Exactly.
That you can follow along and promote the broadcast through social media channels.
We're going to talk about that in just a
Cool.
second. It's another cool feature of our platform. So we've got this down packed, and I'm going to go ahead now and shift gears to the mobile app on the iPad here.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug you here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to unplug from here, and so that we can actually see the full screen. Oh, actually, you know what? I can keep this plugged in, and I just need to show this this channel here
Here we go.
as one of the outputs. Give me a second here.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Perfect.
And we can bring that up on the broadcast there, so people can see the interface.
Here we go. So I'm already on the scoreboard, but typically just to kind of give people a feel of where you would go to access this. So here we are. We have my home feed. This is my account on TheCube. This is the mobile version. So you'll see the content that is here. This is based on cubes that I'm following, which is another cool feature on our platform. It's the ability to follow other cubes, whether it be schools, organizations, or even other users that are streaming content.
Cool.
So we're going to go access the scoreboard here for this test event. So we're going to hit the Stream Center icon at the very bottom of that side menu. So you'll see here Stream Center. This is where all the events that you schedule will be saved.
Right.
And we will go with test that we just created here.
You just created. Okay.
So
yeah.
instead of actually going live, which you can do
Right.
through the mobile app, but say we're using a V-1HD or the Teradek or both, we're going to
Keep
keep
score.
score.
Yeah.
So here we go. So here we have our interactive scoreboard
Right.
that you can use during a game while still using your equipment to broadcast.
Sure.
Really, really straightforward, really simple interface. And all you need to do is update. Here we
Update the
got
score.
here. So
yeah.
it's a football scoreboard. Say Cube High School is up 7-0 in the first quarter over Cube Prep.
Right.
And we would
I see there's an option for a clock as well, so
Yes.
you can have the game clock going on at the same time.
Yeah. And so, unfortunately for today, I would like to show up, but basically what you would see on the event page is the scoreboard with the school's nicknames.
Right.
If the school has a logo attached to their cube, you'll also see the logo. And as you mentioned, you'll see a running clock if you so choose to use that. So very, very cool feature on our platform. So we've gone through getting started,
Yeah.
scheduling a stream, and
The scoreboard.
scoreboard, and kind of mixed in the streaming aspect. But just kind of to harp again is that we are an open, flexible platform. So you can stream from our app, you can stream from advanced equipment like the Roland V-1HD and using the Teradek, or either or. So the ability to use equipment like that really makes us an attractive platform to use. And schools who are just getting started, inquire about it. You can always contact our support line, and we'll be able to help you with that. So great support, customer service that people can utilize on TheCube.
Yeah, and as we've been talking about throughout this whole broadcast here, it's really one of the key components of streaming some sort of school event is to have a content delivery network that I believe is school specific, so that it's customized, so that you can make sure that you've got some of these features where you can do scoreboard overlays, or you can turn broadcasts on or off, or you can record an event, not record an event. It's really important for the school to, for different departments, athletic directors and coaches that don't want to have, someone scouting against them. Those are some of the key features that you're not going to find on other content delivery networks out there. So having something like TheCube that's very, very school focused is a key thing, we believe.
Yeah, I mean, we think so too. And the last thing that I wanted to touch on is our sharing, our features.
Okay.
We make it incredibly easy to live stream events and share them with people all over the world. And I'm going to go ahead and show you right now how we would do that.
Okay.
So kind of the first thing to do, the easy way, would be to follow a cube. And when you follow a cube, so right now I have the Roland account up. We're in Roland Studio, so give them
Roland University.
Give them a little shout out here. So we're going to use their account. So you'll see here at the top there is a follow button.
Okay.
So being a user, you would click on that follow button. You would then receive email notifications, text alerts, ways to be notified of upcoming events, when they're scheduled, when they go live, and then for athletic events, what is the final score, so that sort of thing. So that's kind of the first way to be notified. The second or other ways to do it is when you're actually live streaming the event. So we'll go here to our test, and you'll see as I just moved over the video player, a Twitter and Facebook icon showed up. So all you need to do is click the button. I'm not going to do that right now, but all you need to do is click on these icons, and you can easily send this event to your Facebook page, your Facebook account, your Twitter feed, and people can access them through there. So really easy to do. And then also, we give you the ability to embed events onto external websites. Okay. So you see what I just did? I clicked on our share icon here. A drop-down menu appeared. We'll click on that share icon again, and then you'll see here embed event viewer.
Sure.
So this is one way you can do it. You have the ability to embed your actual entire cube player, scoreboard, even a channel guide. So these are the ways that you can share your events and into the different platforms that schools want to use them for. One thing that I forgot to mention, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention this, and one of the coolest features, in my opinion, that we offer is the ability to cut highlight clips. So we're going to go back to this event. Obviously, this is a screenshot of the scoreboard, so there's nothing highlight worthy here. But obviously, say you're a mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle. They see their loved ones create or do something highlight worthy, whether it be scoring the game-winning shot, grabbing a touchdown, or walking across the stage for graduation. You want to clip that, save that forever. So you would go ahead and clip this tool. Basically, it captures the previous 30 seconds of the event. And you can actually do this while the live stream is going on. So what happens is it creates a separate tab for you to edit, trim it, whatever you want to do, and save it to your cube.
Awesome. And I think even for an athlete that is in the moment they're not going to see this on the broadcast, but they can go watch the broadcast later on, see that highlight clip of them scoring a goal, getting a dunk, whatever that is, and they can clip it themselves, share it socially on their social media sites, share it with grandma and grandpa, that type of thing. It's actually an archived piece of video that they can use forever.
Yeah, it's a great tool, and people seem to love it. So like I said, I think it's one of our coolest features. And as you mentioned, say you didn't catch it during the live stream, you can easily go back, watch the replay of the event, and you can still utilize the Clip It tool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for kind of covering theCUBE and how it relates to streaming for school events. We're going to, Andrew, I understand you guys have a little video of some schools using your products, that type of thing, or maybe a little promotional video about theCUBE. We're going to take a really quick break, watch that video. We're going to invite Jon back here, and we're going to actually look at the questions that you had asked through the comment section of this live broadcast. We'll try and answer those questions. I just wanted to let everybody know at the end of the broadcast, we will also have our contact details. So if for some reason we don't get to your question, feel free to write down our contact details and send us that question directly. So without further ado, let's take a little look at that video, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Yassine Abisher, executive producer of the Eagle Media Crew.
Hi, I'm Jacob Aguilar, and I'm the president of the Eagle Media Crew here at Apple Valley High School.
We've been really happy to work with theCUBE to produce over 180 live events over the past 3 years.
The opportunity we've had working with EMC is really great, and the support we get from the community with watching our events is phenomenal. All the softwares and different technologies we've had the opportunity to use as a team has been really helping and giving us so much experience for us to use in the future. Our club is really cool because it's a unique place where people who are freshmen to seniors can come and just shoot events with any kind of experience. We accept all people, whether you have any idea what a camera is or how it works, to you can go and produce your own TV show.
We have encouraged freshmen to direct multiple live events, and the experience they get lends them to become better producers, better graphics people, and better cameramen.
Yeah, that being said, we have many different roles they can play: camera people, graphics, directors. They can even be announcers if they so choose, and that gives them a wide variety of experiences, not just sitting behind a camera the whole time.
Being a member of the Eagle Media Crew brings lots of benefits.
Yeah, for example, the past 2 years we have been nominated and won Best Live Sports Production from Natus, and this year have been nominated again for Best Live Sports Production.
But we don't just do sports. Our live events range from choir concerts, band concerts, to graduation and Veterans Day celebrations.
We also do live events streaming plays and musical productions that our school puts on. And actually this past year we've started filming and streaming a concert that we've done called After, where students can come in, whether they're in actual music classes here at our school or they just play an instrument and basically just jam out while we stream on theCUBE.
One of the great things theCUBE provides us is immediate feedback from our audience.
Yeah, we get thousands upon thousands of views from not only our community members, but people from across the state and college recruiters who can't make it to our events. So all in all, we've been really fortunate to have the opportunity here at our school to work alongside with theCUBE to produce and broadcast our events.
And we look forward to the future productions we have with them.
So if you want to check out more of our events, go to thecube.com/Eagle Media Crew.
Thanks for watching.
Here we go. Thank you very much. Welcome back. We're here to answer your questions live. I've got Jon Landman from Teradek, and then I have Andrew Rodriguez and myself, Rob Reed. So let's take a look at some of these questions here. Let's see here. Jon, let's do one for you. It says, does the Teradek Cube have any plans to deal with venue internet connections that have a captive portal?
Well, we do actually have a workaround that many have been using, and these are very small devices called travel routers. You can find them on Amazon for 30, 40 bucks. Mm-hmm. The way that works is the travel router has the built-in splash screen that gives you the captive portal screen. That then signs into the captive portal, and then the Cube will Ethernet into that device. So that's the way that we get around that.
Excellent. Well, we have another question here from Storm Chasers. They have a camera on the field but can't use hardwire. Suggestions? We use BNC connections. Well, actually, we didn't cover this in the broadcast, but Roland, we actually make HD-based T converters, which allows you to have a little transmitter on the field, and you can go Cat6 cable from the transmitter and then have a receiver and go up to 328 feet. BNC sometimes run into some issues with that, but Cat6 cable is very inexpensive, it's very flexible, and that's one way of getting camera to the video source. There's probably some other wireless solutions. Do you have from Teradek, Jon?
Who was that question from, by the way?
Storm Chasers.
So I'm going to imagine this person's wirelessly trying to storm chase.
Yeah.
Which means they could be in a car chasing a storm. So 350 feet for them is not going to cut it.
No, it's not.
So what we would suggest for someone like that is the VidiU product and using their phones to bond. I actually have a demonstration here of how we set that up.
Do you want to show that over?
Yeah, sure. So this is one phone. I got 3 other people here opening up this same VidiU app, And before we open that up, what we do is we go to the wireless settings, make sure that we're connected to the VidiU, right? Which, as I mentioned, creates its own wireless hotspot.
Let's see if I can get connected.
There you go. Okay, let's open up the VidiU app. You see, now we find the VidiU, and this is where the magic is. You see that link here? Link my phone. Boom. I have now used my phone and your phone.
You can put your phone on here.
Yeah, I'll put your phone on there. You see? Link my phone. Boom. So now I'm using your data, my data, and a couple of the guys over there, actually 4 of us. We're bonding 4 phones together. So we're actually streaming at the moment this soccer game to TheCube on a particular website that I think we're going to give that address out on. And if anyone goes to that website and tells us what the score is, they'll get some Teradek swag.
Football.
Football. What did I say?
Soccer.
Soccer, same thing.
Hey. Yeah.
Well, let's see if we have that website available. And so what we want you to do is go to the comments field. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Don't skip the slide. I'll show that in a second. Live streaming now. Check out the link. It's thecube.com/e/622509. So go to that website. Did you update a score on there, Andrew?
I did.
Okay, awesome. So there is a score up there. So be sure and put that score in the comments field, and the first person to do that is going to win a T-shirt from Teradek.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
All right, let's get to see if we can get a couple more questions. We know your time is valuable, so let me go here. Can you demo the Teradek Live Air? Probably not here right now, but maybe you can talk a little bit about the Teradek Live Air.
Yeah, the Teradek Live Air is a switcher app that we made on an iPad. You can download it from the App Store. It allows Teradek devices to wirelessly stream to the iPad and then switch. It is definitely not a replacement for a hardware switcher, right? So, let's just make that clear. Roland makes great hardware switchers, but we're a fun device. It's a great device. It's a great way for free to get in and get used to switching. What we've found, and I think that what you confirm, is that it's no longer sufficient to stream a single camera. You don't get the same effect. The emotion is not there. Having multiple camera sources, multiple different angles, is really what is becoming standard today. And we see that, and that was basically the reason we came out with the switcher on the iPad.
Very good. Well, we have one more question, or a couple more coming through, I see. Mary Ellen, the question was, what advantages does the V-1HD have over the Blackmagic Television Studio ATEM switcher? Well, I think one of the big key things with the V-1HD is it can be controlled by itself. It has the tactile control surface, a T-bar function. You can get to the menus directly from there. So it is a hardware surface that doesn't require a software application. So I think that's one of the main key features. They're about the same price, but we also have again, the audio inputs from an audio mixer, the ability to sweeten your audio mix too by having effects built into the compression, the EQ, all that kind of stuff. So we also can control from the iPad or the software app. So you can have remote control, but you also have the tactile control directly from the V-1HD. So that's the main differences. Okay, so I just got a text saying that Farmers Mutual Telephone Company wins the Teradek T-shirt.
Oh.
So congratulations
There
to
you go.
Farmers Mutual Telephone Company. Thank you for watching our broadcast, and thank you for getting the score correct on that. All right, so I got one more here. Does Teradek and the Roland support GoPro or other compact action cam HDMI output? I'll answer that one, at least from the Roland standpoint. As a matter of fact, I just plugged in earlier today because I wanted to confirm a GoPro Hero 4. Just the mini HDMI out directly into one of the camera sources works no problem, works like a charm, supports it. So yeah, if you have some action cameras or POV cameras like the GoPro Hero, it certainly works with the V-1HD. How about the Teradek product?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, HDMI is a source that
Yep.
we accept, and the VidiU actually accepts HDMI full size. So yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
All right. Well, without further ado, we're just going to do a little wrap up. Maybe we can show our contact details and do a little bit of wrap up here again. We thank you for watching the broadcast. We hope that you've got some little tips and tricks, the video toolkit essentials that you need for producing and streaming your school events. Again, as we mentioned, it's a really, really simple recipe, especially if you're doing multi-camera shoots. You're going to need some sort of video mixer. You're going to need some sort of audio mixer. And then, as we rightly pointed out, you're going to need some sort of hardware encoder, encoding protocol to send that signal to the content delivery network. And of course, we believe the best one for streaming school events is TheCube. It's designed specifically for the schools. And just in parting, Jon, do you have any recommendations or tips or trips from the Teradek products that you would give to schools, like the VidiU maybe versus the VidiU Pro?
Well, the challenge is, as I said, is always connectivity. And for the extra $300, the ability to bond Wi-Fi, cellular, and Ethernet is money well spent. So that would be my tip for today.
That would be great. How about you, Andrew? Anything, tips and tricks on TheCube?
I just think we make it ridiculously easy to watch, stream, and share your events for free. And what could be better than that?
Excellent. And then from the Roland standpoint, really, we make a variety of switchers. We just showed you 2 switchers today, but I think really depends on what your workflow is. It depends on your budget. If you're on a budget just getting started, the V-1HD is a great solution. But if you are looking for ways to improve your workflow, having an integrated an audio and video mixer like the VR-50 is a great solution because it really simplifies your workflow of putting it all into one and having the multi-format support, that type of thing. So really, these 3 key pieces are very, very important for streaming school events. So we thank you very much for your time, and we will be sending a rebroadcast link shortly. So by chance, if you missed part of it or you want to share it with some of your friends, we will send that out to you shortly. Thank you very much for watching.
Thanks.